Hi there! In this video, we will discuss the summary of the 39th chapter of Noli Me Tangere by Dr. Jose Rizal, titled Doña Consolacion. We will also study the important events, characters, settings, and lessons found in this chapter. Listen and watch carefully, as you will learn a lot from this historical work by Rizal. Let's begin. Doña Consolacion, the wife of the alferez, was introduced as a woman who tried hard to look European by putting on makeup and speaking in Spanish. She used to be a laundrywoman who married a soldier who later became an alferez. Even though she had risen in social status, she still carried the behavior of someone from a lower class, especially since she lacked education. One day, Doña Consolacion was furious because her husband did not allow her to go to church. While she was fuming, she heard Sisa singing from the jail. Sisa had been imprisoned there for 2 days. Because Sisa did not understand Doña's orders in Spanish, she did not obey. This made Doña Consolacion even angrier, and she took out all her rage on Sisa. She whipped Sisa and ordered her to sing. Out of fear and pain, Sisa sang Kundiman ng Gabi, which, despite her suffering, brought temporary joy to Doña. While listening, Doña noticed that she had unknowingly started speaking in Tagalog, something she did not want to do. In anger and embarrassment, she dismissed the civil guard who witnessed the incident. She then tried to make Sisa dance, but when Sisa refused, she whipped her again. Finally, Sisa fainted due to the intense pain and wounds. The alferez arrived and saw Sisa's pitiful condition. He was furious with Doña Consolacion and ordered a soldier to dress, feed, and treat Sisa. He also instructed the soldiers to take Sisa to Ibarra the next day. Now, let's move on to the important events in this chapter. Doña Consolacion was furious because her husband did not allow her to go to church. She heard Sisa singing from the jail and ordered her to come up. When Sisa did not obey, Doña whipped her and forced her to sing a kundiman. The alferez was angry at his wife's cruelty towards Sisa and ordered the soldiers to take care of her. Sisa was prepared to be taken to Ibarra the next day. Important characters. Doña Consolacion, the wife of the alferez, known as the Queen of the Civil Guards. She was a cruel and heartless woman who did not care about others' opinions. In this chapter, she used her power to torment Sisa. Alferez, the head of the Civil Guards and Doña Consolacion's husband. Although he did not directly interfere with his wife's actions, he showed his disappointment and anger upon seeing Sisa's pitiful state. He ordered her to be treated and prepared for her transfer to Ibarra. Sisa, a mother who lost her sanity due to deep sorrow and suffering. In this chapter, she became a victim of Doña Consolacion's cruelty. She was forced to sing and dance and was severely punished. Civil guards, soldiers who followed the orders of the alferez and Doña Consolacion. They were surprised when they heard Doña speaking in Tagalog. Let us now proceed to the setting of this chapter. The story took place in the house of the alferez, particularly in the jail where Sisa was imprisoned. The alferez's home was a place of cruelty and hatred, while the jail showed the lack of mercy and violence that Sisa endured. Here are some of the lessons, messages, or implications shown in this chapter. The story shows the abuse that happens when someone is given power but lacks compassion or proper morals. Doña Consolacion, in her desire to show her authority, became cruel to Sisa, an example of how power can be misused. The story highlights the lack of justice in society, especially for the weak and defenseless. Sisa's suffering at the hands of Doña Consolacion is a clear representation of the injustice experienced by the poor. Sisa symbolizes the victims of cruelty and oppression who lose their human rights. In her madness and imprisonment, the story shows how victims of abuse lose their dignity and humanity. The story also shows how language can be used as a tool of power and how it can become a barrier to communication and understanding. Doña Consolacion's use of Spanish to show her higher status was a way of distancing herself from others, especially from people like Sisa, who did not understand the language. Doña Consolacion's character shows that even though her life circumstances changed, her behavior and attitude remained low. This suggests that true change must come from within, not just from external appearances. Her bad behavior was not changed by her rise in society, and this led to her cruelty towards Sisa. And that concludes the 39th chapter of Noli Me Tangere, titled Doña Consolacion. What have you learned from this chapter? Share your answers in the comments. We also encourage you to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay updated with our future videos. Until next time, thank you for watching.